Ramayana. Great text Yoga Vaashishtha Maha Ramayana, Shloka by Shloka, Sarga by Sarga, topic by topic. We are just going through to make our intellects sharp enough, subtle enough to grasp the higher and greater realities, truths happening in this world, cosmos, and beyond all of them, the substratum. Leela is told by Mother Saraswati, highest of knowledge. When that knowledge is almost grasped even intellectually to a great extent, calmness, quietness prevails. That's why this Ikkisma Sarga 21 is called as Leela Vishranthi Upadesha. She is given Jnanam, she gained it, so there is a Vishranthi in her. When that Jnanam is experienced ultimately, that is the ultimate Vishranthi only. So, Siddhanta Jnana se Manasika Vishranti, Anubhava Jnana se Shashvata Vishranti we get. So, one of the wonderful important topics, so many topics, the last one is very sublime in the Leelopakhyana, 21st Sarga. 22nd Sarga of some 35 mantras, which we will chant today, full of Jnanam. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. In all these sargas, Leela and Saraswati visit various lokas. All the loka varnana is done. What our human beings, scientists, trying to see the living beings in other world, sent various telescopes to find. Our Rishi Munis already found there with their Divya Chakshu. And we all travel to those worlds in each of our births depending on our Punya Papa Karma Karma Phala. They are all there. Yet, from the absolute standpoint, as much this world is Kalpita and Mithya, all of them too. That's the meaning of knowing the reality transcendentally, knowing that reality through His power alone, appearing as all this. Reality being reality, birth and change and deathless, there is nothing to be worried. Moksha. The projected world also being unreal, in that birth, change, death, all of them are projected unreal. Therefore, there is also nothing to be worried, to be anxious, to be tense, to be miserable, etc. That freedom from all this is called moksha. In the ajnana of the self, in the delusion of the projected world, we are miserable. When the self-jnana happens, when the world is recognized to be mithya, no more any of the worries, anxieties, miseries, samsara. May you and I, born as human beings in India, Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma, with so many Shastras and Gurus to guide us, let's make use of them, find our own freedom from all these bondages. Okay. Now today, the last few mantras, we'll try to study 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hai. Then we go to next sarga. Mangalacharana slokas for some time. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu. Om Sahano Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti. 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 Om Namo Brahmadibhyo. Om Yairime Gurubhi Purvam. Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam. Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam. Om Sri Rama Rama Rameti. Rame Rame Manorame. Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मभक्तियोगधर्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद् गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्री वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेदव्यास वामदेव नारदादि व्यासादि योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणादि शास्त्राणाम् आचार्येभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषद योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणे इतिहास संतवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थं तत्रोक्त ऋषि मुनि गुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रह प्राप्त्यर्थं दर्शनानुग्रह सनातन धर्म से विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवद शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्षपुरुषार्थानां सुसम्प्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां सङ्कल्पितसत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयार्थं तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्मसाफल्यार्थम् अनेकशास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्नमध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री रामवशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति प्रकरण मोक्ष शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मुक्त्यर्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः। ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शन दृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्माद् आनन्दस्याम्बरेवनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। ॐ सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखघनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं। ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ स्वसदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते। ॐ तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे। विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं। तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्रीगुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः। पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरपि कलयन्न शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृत जलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ओम श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्री वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः। श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण शास्त्रम तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणम लीलोपाख्याने लीला विश्रांत्युपदेशो नाम एकविंशतितम सर्गः। श्री वशिष्ठ उवाच श्रीदेव्युवाच। We are through to the mantra up to 74. Just we'll go through it from 69 onwards. Leela asking very pertinent question. Etavantam chiram kalam. To such a long time from time immemorial till this moment. Ete vayam, we all people, the jivas, kena namapi brahmita. By what reason we are deluded? Dvaita Advaita Vikalpanaihi. In the Vikalpana of the Dvaita on the Advaita, Padadevi, O Mother, tell. So on the Brahman, the Advaita Atman, the entire Dvaita Kalpana, we are deluded in it. Why? From such a long time we are. So in that question only, solution is also asked. What to do come out of this delusion of Dvaita? Answer is simple, direct. Catch the answer. Be attentive. Shri Devi Vacha. Shri Devi Maha Saraswati Mata is teaching to Lalita and to all of us. Vaashishthaji is teaching to Rama and to all of us. What is the cause of our got deluded, bound in Dvaita Kalpita Jagat? Answer Shri Devi Vacha Avicharena Tarale Bhranta Sichiramakula Avicharaha Swabhavottaha Savichara Dvinashyati. As direct as simple as this. He Tarale Avicharena Chiram Bhrantasi Akulas. Because of your not contemplating deeply with the help of the Shastras and the truth, that you are not recognizing truth, therefore you are a Bhranta. And in that Bhranti, when you have given reality to this Dvaita, Chiram Akula Asi, you are in that tension, anxiety, worry also. अविचार से प्रॉब्लम है. अविचारः स्वभाव उत्तः. This disease of avichara has not come from anywhere outside. It is there with you, but it binds you. But the beauty is, it can be removed. How? Saha vichara vinashyati. That avichara is not a substantial thing actually, but it becomes a cause for so many of bondages. Dvaita. So it has to be removed, replaced. How? Sa vicharat vinashyati. Yesterday, day before, we tried to discuss on that at length. Why I am not using my intellect to inquire between unreal and real, contemplate between unreal and realize the real? To this question, there is no answer. Why? But there is an answer to the problem of avichara. What is it? Vicharena vinasya. So, through vichara, enter into the knowledge and realization of the reality. Stay in that. Then avichara, vichara, both are not required because you are in direct experience of the truth. That is why avicharo vicharena nimesha deva nashyati. Means whenever you are contemplating, your lethargy intellectual is going away. Na? So keep on meditating, contemplating on the truth so that that intellectual lethargy of avichara followed by the mind's active dynamic misuse of his power of projection of Dvaita, you can avoid it. When the intellect is lazy in inquiry, mind becomes active in projecting the unreal, the Dvaita. So do the vicharana, no avichara, no chance given to the mind for its work of projecting the Dvaita and binding. So, esha sattaiva tenantaha avidyaisha navidyate antaravidyaisha. In fact, when that satta is realized, never the avidya was there, that we realize. That's the way the avidya ऐसा महान शक्ति है, वो है भी और नहीं भी है, इसलिए कोई इसको निर्वचन दे नहीं सकता. Therefore, from the reality realized standpoint, tasmat naiva vicharosti na vidyasti na bandhanam. You are already that. So what is the need of vichara or avichara also? Vichara is not required because I realized myself. Vichara only not required. Where is the question of vichara? Where is the question of avidya born out of avichara? Where is the question of dvaita projected out of avidya? Where is the bandhanam in that dvaita? Where is the need of struggle to do sadhana to get the moksha? That's why the punchline of this entire chapter, Nirabadham Shuddha Bodham Idam Jagat. It's all that. Idam Rupena seen Jagat, entire thing is Shuddha Bodham only, pure consciousness. That vicharana about it yesterday, day before we saw. Now, to Leela and to all of us. The problem diagnosis and solution. Both Mother Saraswati is telling how much alert we are to catch it, how much subtle we are to understand it, how much careful, conscious, serious, sincere we are to grasp it, keep it with us. The next sentence is very crucial. Hi etavantam yada kalam tvayaitanna vicharitam tadana samprabuddha tvam bhrantaiva bhava akula. Etavantam kalam, till this moment of my arrival and you asking me, my teaching you, tvaya etat na vicharitam. By you, that everything is Shuddha Bodham, to reach to that, what authentic Vicharana was required, you have not done it. As we exhaustively saw last 2 days, again it becomes repetition. Whatever little will Vicharana, Shakti of the Buddhi we utilize, that we use only for what vasanas and mind and senses demand as a slave to them. Anna? Throughout life we were doing it. A Sadguru, a Sat Shastra, the jnanam given by them about the reality and the Kalpita Jagat. On that we never utilized our intellect. For that we never used our intellect so far. That is called Vicharana. This all listening to the mind and vasanas is Buddhi Vikara it is, not Vichara. Mano Vikara and Buddhi is slave to it. So, etavantam yada kalam tvaya etat na vicharitam. Tvaya etat na vicharitam. Tada na samprabuddhatvam. That's why you are not awakened to that reality. Instead of that reality, not known because of avichara and ajnana, the dvaita is projected and you took that dvaita as real. Taking the dvaita real is called bhranti. Therefore, involving in it called samsara. Always struggling to be happy but getting only misery is called bandhanam. Bandha, bondage. Now, 1 minute we have to discuss is what? Na vicharitam. Vicharitam is in each of the Upanishads, in each of the Gurukula, the Guru Maharaj, in one way or the other, guides the students in that vicharana to see what is the reality behind. Okay? One has to be available for that vichara. That is why in our next text we see, before teaching the student the Tattvasi Mahaka Vichara, Guru ensures that this disciple has got sadhana chatushtaya sampada. With sadhana chatushtaya sampada intact, that means all our faculties are in our control, all our behavior in the world also, not a liability to spirituality. The meaning of Shamadamadi is this: controlled behavior, living in the world is not a liability for spirituality. What is that has achieved? As it is taught in next text of Vakyavritti throughout all Upanishads. You know, they tell us one type of vicharana. All what you see is drashya, you are drashta. Drashta is independent of drashya. Drashya dependent on drashta. See, druk drashya viveka is called. In fact, behind drashta also there is druk. Druk only, drashta, drusha. It will come in the next 5-6 slokas projected or in next chapter, I think. Or Atma and Atma Viveka, they make us do. You know? Then Avasthatraya Viveka, Gunatraya Viveka, Panchakosha Viveka. They're all vicharanas. In all these types of विचारणास में एक विचारणा के द्वारा भी हम ट्रुथ तक पहुंच जाते हैं ना. Miraculously our intellect gets such a sublime ability, intuitive power, that all other modes of vicharana inquiry become obvious. For example, avasthatra viveka se, let us say you reach to turiya avastha. This is jagrata avastha. Dream, swapna avastha. Sushupti, prajna avastha. Nidra or sleep, sushupti avastha. No, these are all coming and going one after the other. And if all three are known, it is quite evident, simple common sense, that there must be something fourth which is other than all these three but permeating all those three. Other than all these three, that is why it is knowing. Permeating all the three, that's why every aspect of these three avasthas it is knowing. In this inquiry, if we are able to apprehend the Turiya Atma Vastu, thereafter the Panchakosha Viveka, that I am beyond five koshas, the Atma and Atma Viveka, I am that Atma, I have nothing to do with the Anatman. ये सारे एक पकड़ एक कर लिया ना बाकी सब आ like one car you learn driving मोटे तौर पर वो all the cars you can drive थोड़ा little bit you have to know gearless car with gears some of the cars और जर्मनी बने और जापान में बने ये डिफरेंट कंट्री में थोड़ा मॉडल में डिफरेंस होता है बट बेसिक्स ऑफ स्टीयरिंग ब्रेक क्लच थोड़ा ऑलमोस्ट सेम तो एक कार पता चला तो ऑलमोस्ट ऑल कार्स यू कैन ड्राइव. So, in one method, we are able to succeed in vicharana. Plenty of methods that are given in the Shastras. Any one of them you can use to reach to the truth every day. Having that way done for some years, you stay in the truth only. Seldom you come here. Whenever you come, you just play the play and go back. Just like the 100% samsari never comes into the spiritual class. Little some taste for spiritual class comes. Once in a while he comes. That's all. Otherwise in samsara only. So too, the one through inquiry who reaches the Brahmasmi, he stays there only. Very seldom he comes to the Upadhi, not required. He is safe, secured, happy there. As Brahman, I am blissful, I am liberated. Most of them won't come. Few of them come just to serve the world and to guide the humanity. That's it. That's a very different subject, some other time. So, till now you have not done the Vicharana, that is why you are in the Brahma and you are in the Akulata. Etavantam kalam, tvaya etad na vicharitam, tada na samprabuddha. That's why you are not awakened. Branta eva abhava. You are always in the delusion. Akula and worried also. So all our worries are in dual Dvaita Jagat. Dvaita Jagat is Branta Kalpita. That is there because the Advaita Paramatma Tattva we are not awakened to. We are not awakened because we have not done the Vicharana. Catch this point of this Yoga Vashtama Ramayana here and now. Like in every of the Prakarana, within 5 or 4 sargas, along with telling the answer to Rama question, one or the other important topic is touched upon. है ना कहीं पुरुषार्थ प्रयत्न महात्म्य is told, isn't it? In the Mumuksha Vahara Prakarana. Someplace the importance of Vairagya is told. We have to be very highly alert to catch in this prasanga along with general knowledge given what is the important sublime thought that's communicated. We should be alert. इसके लिए totally into the Shastra Adhyayana mood we have to be for some lives. Not like this. Ki total mind is filled up with whole worldly samachara. Among that, a little bit we are here and there अटेंडिंग क्लास, रीडिंग बुक, उससे नहीं होता. That sukshma tikshna buddhi of catching the general points and essential top point when a guru speaks or when a book we study, that's the result of this sacrifice of the outer world, tapasya of this spiritual world. So, in this prasanga, catch this point, crucial point. Talked about is through vicharana, you will have the awakening to the reality. No more bhranti of duality, no more samsara. And luckily to you, you are almost taken for granted that you are mukta now. Why? Because the seed for vicharana, sprouting to become a tree of awakening to the self, en route destruction of all vasanas, which is the cause for the projection of mind and prompting the mind to project the world. That en route all that vasanas get destroyed. So vasana nirmulana, mano nasha, dvaita jagat rahita, एकमेवाग्बे ब्रह्म प्राप्ति दिलाने वाला विचारणा का सीड तुम्हारे अंदर डाला गया. So you are mukta. But this point is as valid to Leela and to all of us too. People like Leela, directly blessed by Saraswati, quickly grasp it and make use of that guidance given of Vicharana. You and I may take more time. And Leela may do in 1-2 days, we may do in 10-20 lives. Question of time only, otherwise, for us also it will happen. You and I especially. You cannot be without realization. Only question of time. अब ये सीड्स अंदर पड़ने के बाद उसको आप निकाल के फेंक नहीं सकते. जब तक नहीं गिरे सीड नहीं गिरे. जब गिर गए ना वो काम करेंगे. But the other seeds, other vasanas delay the process. You understood? Because Satya has to be revealed to all. Very good thought it is. Very nice encouragement by Mother Saraswati when she says, Adya prabhruti buddhasi vimuktasi vivekini vasana tanavam bijam patitam tava chetasi. See? Tava chetasi patitam. In your chitta, it is sown. What? Bijam. बीजम पतितम तव चेतसी. तुम्हारे चित्त में बीज का आरोपण हुआ है, रोपाई हुआ. बीज ऑफ व्हाट? वासना तानवम. That bija which does tanu karanam of the vasanas, thinning of the vasanas. Vasanas are the unseeable, very powerful, strong, impressions which do not allow the mind to stop even a moment without projection. And we all are living our vasanas impressions only. Not wisdom. Wisdom is only one thing, everything is Brahman. Other than Brahman, experience, the so-called wisdom of science, technology, arts, crafts, all of that are nothing but vasanas only. They're all impressions. No? If somebody is a maths expert, it's all is samskaras only. No? If somebody is a chess champion, it's a samskara only. One is a political game player. International politics also, he is playing it. They're all is samskara brought from many, many lives. So, the Tanu Karana of the Vasana is done when the Satya Satya Vicharana is done. I gave you the Jnanam about Sadvastu. That is a seed. That is a seed for the removal of the Vasanas. When the Vasanas go away, as it said in Yoga, that's why it's called Yoga Vaashishtha. In the Yoga Darshanam also, by removing the Mula Samskaras in that Asampragnata Samadhi, the Chitta Vritti Nirodha is done, not Chitta Nirodha. Chitta continues, it's required for Vyavahara. But what is that which is projecting Vrittis in the Chitta and pushing us to identify with the Chitta Vrittis? And then we are, instead of the Sarupa, we are as the Vritti. So we are. They are all samskaras. Through the yoga sadhana, yoga abhyasa, the total vrittis, vasanas are eliminated. Then there is no Vritti happening in the mind, chitta by itself, from the inside. The chitta is available for work, but not creating the, projecting the thoughts, because there are no vasanas. Because in that text also, by the removal of samskaras, through sampragnata samadhi, chitta vritti nirodha is done. Therefore, there is no samsara. This text also goes in the same line. There was called Yoga Vaasishta. Gita also Yoga Shastra. Siddhanta Jnana Brahman and practical means. Here also, Brahma Jnana is given along with all this. Therefore, Vasana Tanavam Bijam. Understood? Vasana Tanavam Bijam Patitam Tava Chetas. आपके हमारे चित्त में भी हुआ है. हाँ, you can take initiative to give more importance to that. Even that starts with sankalpa. You can be without sankalpa for 1,000 years. And whenever some prarabdha, some push and pull comes, you can attend to that class or do some spirituality and live. But you and I can use this free will purushartha of sankalpa. Then that sankalpa can be as intense as possible. You can make it. Then we can add to that sankalpa the prayer also. Prayer for the obstructing obstacles not to obstruct. Prayer for the divine who can bless us with divine powers. तो संकल्प भी कर सकते हैं, इनको भी प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं, भैया मेरे को डिस्टर्ब ना करो. इनको भी प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं, भगवान मुझे एम्पावर करो. व्हाट इज द संकल्प? लेट दिस सीड सोन इन मी ऑफ विचारणा grow quickly to such an extent that I am 24 hours in that Atma Vicharana, which is very quickly removing the Avicharana and removing the Kalpita Dvaita unnecessarily because of Avicharana and the Samsara. Let me not do anything at all other than it. If you deeply do that Sankalpa, prayer, then that time will come in our life. If you don't do, and another Sankalpa also we do, understood? Then that will be prompted to do. Like you and I might have done the Sankalpa of Subhasham, listening to the Shastras. That's why all the conveniences are coming. This very computer, internet is there. So much in all your family members, your neighbors, in the whole country and world. Why they are not listening this, you only are listening your samskaras. Why you are not going to those places where they are going, their samskar, संकल्प से बना हुआ. इसलिए संकल्प करो कि ये जो विचार के बीज मेरे अंदर गिरे हैं, they should not get died or bharjita or roasted. They should immediately sprout. Let me give up everything else now. Take up only Shastra Adharita Atmanatma Vicharana. Let me become very deep in that contemplation. Enough of my suffering in this world, delusory world of duality. Delusory world of Rupanama, the delusory world of the Upadhis. Enough of it. Let me touch the reality, the core. अब करो भयंकर संकल्प. भयंकर मतलब अद्भुत संकल्प. See the power of sankalpa of Nachiketa, that he had turned Yamaraja also towards him and made the killer Yamaraja. He's a killer Yamaraja to give the knowledge of non-killing means Amrutatva, immortality. मार गिराने वाले यमराज से अमृतत्व का ज्ञान पाया. Our great Nachiketa means how much powerful is his sankalpa. This is not here in the topic, we are adding that when mother says the seed is sown in you for vasana, we are saying it is sown in us also. Even after the seed is sown, for the result of moksha to come, it takes time if you are relaxed and if you are not doing anything conscious from our side. Other thing is, we can consciously do the vicharana and reach out to the reality very soon. And right now I can't do that. Therefore, I can do sankalpa. That purushartha of doing sankalpa we were talking about last 3 minutes. Sankalpa added with prarthana. Let me do vicharana. Let me reach out to the self in this very life, in this very year 2025, before 31st comes. For that, any of the obstacles, inner and outer, I beg you, I just request you, please forgive me. Please don't create any disturbances. Anything, whichever they are, known, unknown. Even though I deserve all punishment, please forgive. So to the divine powers we can ask. All the Adhisthana Devatas we can ask. Please empower me. Oh eyes, empower me that I am able to see the book and study. Oh the ears, please empower me. The Shrotra Sadik Devata that I listen from my Guru very attentively. Oh Chandrama, bless me that my mind is fully focused. Oh Brahaspati, bless me that the Buddha is so sharp that everything that is spoken is understood. Oh Chitta Vasudeva, please bless me that this knowledge alone should be there 24 hours. सुबह शाम दिन रात सपने में भी यही आ जाए मुझे. It's not सुबह उठते ही मैं सेल फोन देख रहा हूँ या स्टेटस देख रहा हूँ और all that. सुबह उठते ही let me start contemplation only. Oh Vasudev, bless me. So to Rudra Bhagwan, Ahankara se Rudra Devata. We can pray. They answer us. They are there for that only. अभी करो प्रेयर, पोस्टपोन करो तो नहीं होता. हमने तो कर दिया while telling you. Hey Bhagavan, no more in these dilemmas, in these delusions, in these dualities, in these depressions, in these despondencies, in these dejections, in these distresses and distraughts, etc. Very quickly, let me transcend all the avidya ityadi and reach to the vidya of the Atman. Atma vidya de do bhaiya. Okay? And she says, because in you the vasana tanavam bijam is patitam in your chitta, therefore you are adya pravruti, you are already from this moment onwards buddhasi vimuktas. You are buddha, awakened to the reality, vimuktasi, therefore liberated from the unreal. And why all this happened to you? That's what we are saying. Vivekini. Mother uses the word. With viveka, you invoked me. With Viveka, you inquired from me. With Viveka, you are grasping Tattva Jnana from me. Seeing your Viveka Shakti only, I gave you this knowledge of Atmanatma Vicharana, which is a seed in you now. No, I have tested you, I have seen you, you are Vivekini. It doesn't take much time for you to make this seed of Atmanatma Vicharana sprout and become a tree gigantic. Therefore, I am sure you are in a very less time will through the Atmanatma Viveka Vichara realize the Atman. Therefore, you are in advance. Congratulations. Buddhasi Vimuktasi. Adya Pravruti Buddhasi Vimuktasi Vivekini Vasana Tanavam Bijam Patitam Tava Chetasi. Wow, what a beautiful thing. In this way, the great saints like Adi Shankara Bhagavan, Puja Gurudev, in how many millions of human beings, chitta, they have given this Tattva Jnana Bija. All of them are working. Along with them, the other karma samskara vasana also have to work, no? दोनों के बीच में टफ युद्ध चल रहा है. I become conscious of it and forcefully when I start supporting my own positive vasanas, then redemption is quicker and faster. Even if 100% I cannot do, little I can do. अब क्लास में तो आ सकते हैं डेली, कोई नाम जप कर सकते हैं, प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं. These are the small little things we can start doing before intensely, deeply involving in every mantra of this Tattva Jnana and deeply contemplate. वो तो हाईएस्ट. उपनिषद को ले लिया, मंत्र का अध्ययन किया भाष्य के साथ, and the meaning we held in our chitta, now contemplating. I am that self, I am that self. Highest. If you can do that, good. If not, other things too can be done. I loved these two slokas. One, till that moment you have never done the vicharana, that's why never awakened, that's why deluded, that's why in samsara. But now onwards you are liberated because you are awakened, because you are vivekini, and because I have sown the seed in your buddhi and you have received that seed. In your chitta, vasanatana bija is patitam, I can say that. You can also consciously feel my Guru Parampara is sowing the seed of Atma and Atma Viveka in me. Feel it right now. What else is happening every day through our classes? वही तो कर रहे हैं ना. Next one. Wonderful discussion. कि after awakening to the self, Again, if the Dvaita and if the Vasanas may come, a type of question. For that she beautifully answered, don't worry, ऐसा होगा नहीं. है ना? Like when I am awakened to the rope, that snake will may come again and frighten. You understand? The answer is what for that? Array, first time when you saw the snake and got frightened, that time also it was projected only real, not real. Isn't it? When you saw first time. तब भी वो सत्य नहीं था. अब when you saw the rope, अब आएगा कहाँ से वो? Even when the self was not realized, the world is kalpita only. So when the reality realized, how will it come? That's what the answer. Adaveva hinotpannam drishyam samsara namakam yada tada katam tena vasyante vasanapika. See, even when you are experiencing the world so silently, so realistically, Adaveva hi nautpannam drishyam samsara namakam. That drishya jagat, which is creating samsara in you, Adaveva, in the beginning only, it is never created. It was just projected by you. Now that projection happened because you have not apprehended the reality. Now yada tada katham tena vasyante vasanabhika. When the reality is realized, there is no question of that vasana and then the projection of dvaita, drishya and samsara. Therefore, this means this shloka's meaning is the other way of putting the same thing. Ki yad gatvan anivartante. Once you reach to reality, you will not come back into samsara, which we have heard in all Upanishads and Prakaranas, putting, Mother Saraswati is putting it in this different language. The language is, in the beginning also, the, what do you call it, drishyam samsara namakam never utpannam. And if something is there, and when you perceive it, then when you value it, then the impression happens in you, samskara or vasana. When it is not real, in the beginning only, when the self was not realized. अब आत्मज्ञान हो गया, so then there's no question of this drishyadi seen by you as real. Therefore, you won't relate with it, with raga dvesha. Therefore, you will never have vasanas created to again prompt you to enter into samsara. Don't worry about it. For all of us also this knowledge. Without knowing the Atma Jnana, when we wake up every day, samsara continues. And when we die and take the birth, samsara continues. But once the self is known, nasa punaravartate, it won't be any more bandhana of projected world taken as real. There is no projection after that. Everything is one self is known. That's the answer. Adav eva hi na utpannam drishyam samsara namakam. Before you are realizing the self also, it was never real projected. But you gave reality, that's why it created vasanas. Now the reality is realized. The moment you know the rope as rope, snake can never be there. Snake perception can never be there. Snake fear cannot be there. Snake samsara cannot, vasanas cannot be there. That is the beauty here. In this way, when the self is realized completely as it is, na, ajnana gone, no avidya. And then from the avidya only, the other side of avidya is called as chitta. And the chitta was projecting all the rupanama of the world. The entire thing will totally dissolve. Everywhere, if you see only Brahman, Brahman. That's what I said. Shuddha Bodham Idam Jagat earlier. Saraswati Mata says. These three shlokas talk about that very important topic. Quickly we go through that. Atyanta abhava sampattau drashtu drushya drusham manaha ekadhyane pare rudhe nirvikalpa samadhini. So I gave you the jnanam about the Satchidananda Atman. That was the seed. Now your mind with ekagrata during doing the dhyana on that ekavastu. Your mind is doing the dhyana single pointedness ke sath on that ekavastu. While doing it, the mind is slowly entering into nirvikalpata. While it is entering into nirvikalpata, the same mind earlier, because of vasanas, because of habit, was getting dichotomized or trichotomized into three. I am drashta, this is the drushya, I am having the darshana of it. All these they are the divisions in one mind only. Which mind? Which is active. Now the mind has reached to the Paramatma Tattva while contemplating, meditating on it, called as Nirvikalpa Sthiti. Because of that, this drashtu, drashtana, drushya, all these three slowly, atyanta bhava, the vasanas totally go away in our focus on the self for a long, long time. Then all these tino ka atyanta bhava, total absence of this trichotomy happens. Ekadhyane pare rudhe nirvikalpa samadhini. Your mind, when is doing ekagrata yukta dhyana on the eka vastu and reaching to nirvikalpa sthiti, as a result, drashta, darshana, drushya, triputi is a atyanta abhava, total absence of it is happening. When this process continues for a long time, vasana akshaya bije asmin starts the kshaya of the vasanas in this way. Okay, I withdrew from the world, I studied or heard from the Guru, the Tattva Jnana, and I focused my mind on that. While doing this, slowly, the Jagat is real, Jagat has to be obtained. These type of desire or sankalpa creating vasanas inside start getting burnt. That's what he says. Vasana kshaya bije asmin. This Atma Tattva Vicharana is the bija for vasana kshaya. Generally, we talk about bija to be that which produces something. आम का बीज लगाया तो आम का पौधा आता है, मिर्ची का बीज लगाया मिर्ची का पौधा. यहाँ क्या है ना, द बीज इज ऑफ आत्म तत्व विचारणा एंड द आउटकम ऑफ इट इज while आत्म ज्ञान इज हैपनिंग वन साइड, द अदर साइड द वासना क्षय होता है उससे. See, vasana kshaya bije asmin kinchid ankurite hridi. So in your hridaya, if this vasana kshaya bija of atma vichara gets ankurita, earlier said, the seed is sown, therefore we are muktasi, we are buddhasi. Now she says, to really make it happen, she gave assurance. Like, कोई भी आपके घर आते हैं तो प्यार से बात करते हो, lots of assurance you give. Then you tell the things practically to be done, and that fellow has to do that. प्रोसेस तो प्रोसेस होता ही है. बट टू एनकरेज द पीपल, यू जस्ट टेल देम, अरे ऐसा कर हो जाएगा, तू मैं तेरे को मिल गया, मैं बता रहा हूँ ना. हाउ मेनी टाइम्स यू से. सेम वे मदर सरस्वती सेज, यू आर लिबरेटेड बिकॉज द सीड इज सोन. नाउ शी इज encouraging her. Seeding sown, but that has to become an ankura in your heart. So the seed sown by me of atmanatma vichara in your heart, if you allow it to ankurita means you will give more time for that every day systematically. Subhasham, it leads to what? Vasana akshaya. As the vasanas getting destroyed this way, kramat na udayameshyanti ragadveshadika dushaha. Slowly, the unwanted, manipulated, self-destroying, the terrible pairs of dushta shatrus called as ragadveshadi, they slowly, na udayameshyanti, they won't pop up to push us to do punya or papa karma in the world. Get the picture completely. For the entire, I told you what you see is Rupanamatmaka Jagat. I told you all of that is in Bhuta Akash. Then I told you this Bhuta Akasha is in Chitta Akash. In the Chitta Akasha, again in the form of Vrittis, the Chitta Jagat is there. I told you in the very first shloka that these two are Kalpita. There is a third one which is substratum of these two permeating all these, that is called Chidakash. Not knowing Chidakasha as Chidakasha led to Chittakasha Chitta Jagat, Bhutakasha Bhuta Jagat. In the Chittakasha, in the Chitta Jagat is one Aham Vritti. That Aham Vritti has its ability to reflect the Paramatma Tattva as knowingness. And he becomes now the knower, then the doer, then the enjoyer. He is called as Jiva, you and I. Settled in that. Like I could have become million things, but I became doctor and settled. Anna, you could have married thousand of any of the girl, but this lady you married a girl, then you became husband of her only. Same way, I got caught up in becoming Jiva by employing the knowingness. That's little special quality than others. Like he's a cricket player, but little special quality of managing others he has. Immediately is made as captain. होता है कि नहीं? ये थोड़ा सा फिर वो वाला ट्रैक में हम डिस्कशन ले जा रहे हैं, नहीं ले जाएंगे, इधर ले आओ. तो यहाँ कहते हैं, अगेन यू सी, मन एक ध्याने परे रूढ़े. इन द पर तत्व रूढ़ी रूपेण एक ध्यान when the man is doing to such an extent that other than that you are doing nothing. That's called nirvikalpa samadhi of the mind. At that time, the mind loses drashta, drushya, darshana, त्रिपुटी प्रोजेक्शन. स्लोली, अत्यंत अभाव. और दृष्टा दर्शन, क्योंकि निर्विकल्प स्थिति में है ना मन, therefore in that drashta darshana drishya, three types of thoughts won't be there. When that happens, that leads to vasanakshaya. So for this vasanakshaya, the seed which I have sown in you is called as the atmanatma viveka, or putting your mind on the atman. When you do the ankura of that is means regularly when you do this sadhana, focusing your mind rudha rupena in the paratattva, which I told you chidakash mein, pure consciousness. So manaha परे रूढ़े मनः एकध्याने परे रूढ़े मनः निर्विकल्प समाधिनी मनः द्रष्टु दृश्यताम अत्यंत भाव संबद्धौ. This happens. Or ekaruda paramatma tattva pe, when you put your mind for continuously long time, the triputi slowly gets dissolved. That dissolution and reduction of triputi leads you to nirvikalpa sthiti. In that state, the nirvikalpa sthiti here, you, the mind and the atman, there are no more three things. Mind gets dissolved into the Atman. The mind was the one identified with which you as a Jiva were feeling yourself to be separate from that Atman. That obstructing mind is gone. I am that. That's the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. We can talk it in this way also. Then Vasanakshay Bija Esmin Kinchid Ankurite Hridi. In your Hridaya, the Ankura of the Vasanakshaya Bija, not Vasana Bija. Vasana to Ankurit hote rahe, that's why desires, that's why worldliness, 24 घंटे. वासनाक्षय बीज अंकुरिते किंचित हृदय हृदय क्रमात् न उदयवेश्यन्ति. Slowly, slowly, the tendency of giving reality to the world, tendency of creating ragadvesha slowly goes away. Kramat na udayaveshanti ragadvesha adhikat dosha. Now, the whole samsara is from ragadvesha only, no? Therefore, samsara sambhavascha ayam nirmulatvam upaishyati. Samsara sambhava cha ayam nirmulato paishati. Total nirmulana of this dvaita samsara happens. So, nirvikalpa samadhanam pratishtam alameshat. Then your buddhi totally dissolving in the self, inasmuch that you, the buddhi and the atman are not three. That experience comes to you and that slowly gets established. So, when mind is focused on the self, the vasanas go away, the ragadveshas go away, the drashta darshana drushya triputi goes away. Then the mind slowly dissolve into the self. Nirvikalpa sthiti comes. Here nirvikalpata means there is no separation of me from the self. I am the self. So I am there. My mind is there. It has got the knowledge from Guru and Shastra about the presence of pure conscious self. I am trying to focus on the conscious self only. What is it? What is it? In that my deep effort of it, when it is done not one day, depending on how many vasanas we have. What are the things that are going to happen? Vasanas get reduced, then the ragadvesha get reduced, then drashta darshana drushya triputi gets reduced. To that extent, the mind goes more deeper into the apprehension of the self. In its deepest apprehension, the mind dissolves in the self. Along with the mind, I also discover my oneness with that self. These all pictorially told things, when we do practically, we get an experience. That experience is called that Brahman which I am contemplating with my intellect. I realize that it is me. No intellect is required. No intellection is required. No vicharana is required. The seed has given the result of realization of the self. Then there is no more samsara. So nirvikalpa samadhanam pratishtam alameshyati. In this way, you have to realize your identity with the Chidakasha. This you do it. When you do this, the entire world, the things that are happening in the world, all of them go away from your perception. Because to perceive that the mind is required, mind is projecting all of them. No mind merged in the Paramatman. You also are not in the Jagat with the mind now. You are in the self without the mind now. In the self without the mind means what? To know the self, mind ki zarurat hai kya? To know something other than the self, the mind is required. To be the self, mind is abstraction. In the self only, the mind was projecting the not self so far. In this way, the last sloka, Vigata Kalana Kalima Kalanka. Vigata, gone away. Kalana, projection named Kalima Kalanka, the black spot or the dot. Gagana Kalantara Nirmalambanena. Gagana Kalantara means like the space. The Nirmala Chit Paramatma uh, Nirmal Ambanena, uh, Nirmal Alambanena, because you are taking the Alambana of that conscious space in yourself. As you are going near to that, the freedom given to the mind to do the Kalana Kalpana, when that is restricted, then what will happen? Sakala Kalana Karya Karana Antaha. Sakala Kalana Karya Karana Antaha. Sakala Kalana is Karya, projection. Karana is the Vasanas and Avidya. Antaha, that gets ended. When? Katipaya Kala Vashat Bhavishyasi. After some time. Katipaya Kala, thoda time lagega uske liye. As I told, when you do that, it will take some time definitely. But definitely that stage will reach wherein the कार्य रूपी संकल्प आदियों का निर्माण करने वाला कारण रूपी वासना एंड अविद्या का पूरा नाश होकर you will realize your oneness with that चिदाकाश. I am चिदाकाश. हो गया realization. There's a moksha. So गगन कलांतर निर्मल आलंबनेन विगत कलन कालिमा कलंका भूत्वा कतिपय कालवशात् सकल कलन कार्य करणान्तः भविष्यसि इति. I understood. I told you also. Idea is what? If you don't contemplate on the self, the habits of the mind, prompted by the vasanas behind and the senses too, will make us believe this world and worldly indulgences as real and required so much. That's called as getting flooded in the samsara. On the other hand, regular listening to Upanishad and through Upanishad Brahma Tattva, it is the reminder. And add to that listening your own study, it strengthens your knowledge. Then add to that your Subha Do Persham, contemplation on the self. When it is more and more done, all the obstacles which were not allowing us to realize self, all the obstacles which are projecting the duality of the world and getting us bound, all of that goes away. What are they? The Karya Karana Rupi, the Karanas are the Vasanas and Avidya. Karya are the Sankalpas, the dualities. Both are there in the mind in the form of Drashta, Darshana, Drushya. सारे चले जाते. For us right now, when we listen to this subject, if we are not prepared with few years of listening, ये सब इतना सत्य दिख रहा है जगत, ये कहाँ से कल्पना हुई लगता है. But if you become meditative, contemplative, and also tuned to the jnanam given by the Shruti Mata or Gurus through Shraddha, then you feel it. Where is the world without senses? Where are the senses without the mind? Where is the mind without the conscious self? Conscious self misinterpreted only the mind. Mind misinterpreted only the senses. Senses misinterpreted only the world of Shabda Sparsha Prasagandha. There is no world. Only the senses are projecting world. It is not the world is there, senses are seeing. So too, there are no senses. Only the mind is projecting it like in dream. So there is no mind. Not knowing the self, appearing as the mindness. If you realize the pure conscious self, that alone is there. No mind, no meditation, no projection of all this world. यहाँ भी देखो तुम वहाँ एक परमात्मा ही दिखेंगे. जिधर देखो तेरी तस्वीर नजर आती है. Only the divine you will see that. That is the realization. And that's the only way which transcends, makes us transcend Dvaita. And transcending Dvaita is the only way to transcend samsara, because samsara is in Dvaita. Iti Arshe Shri Vaashishtha Mahaраmayane. The Rishi Prokta in Vaashishtha Maharamayana, Valmiki, written by Valmiki ji, Utpatthi Prakaranam, in the Utpatthi Prakarana, Leelopakhyane, in the Upakhyana of Leela ji, Leela Vishranthi Upadesho Nama. So Leela is given the Tattvajnana, and gaining that, she found Vishranthi from all her tensions, worries, anxieties. Nama Ekavimshaha Sargaha. 21st Sarga. Thus ends. Now, whether it is Leela stories here, whether it's Arjuna story there, whether it is Parikshit story there, whether it's Nachiketa story there, all are common. नचिकेत को पापा ने कहा तू मर जा, वो मर गया वो. He went to Yamaraj means he died only. Arjuna is going to kill his grandfather or guru or getting killed by him. Parikshit is going to be killed in a week by that, what he called, the snake. Every case you see, and here the Leela. She is her husband dead, their body. She is worried, anxious. मैं क्या करूं? She did all the things that are required. Every rishi, muni she invited. She did puja to them. She asked them, tell me a solution by which the human beings won't die. Means my husband will not die, should not die. She says with all the yajnas, upasanas and sadhana, you may get plenty of siddhis, but mrityu cannot be avoided. खूब खाके दक्षिणा लेके all the rishis gone. That Leela, through her Nirvikalma Samadhi Abhyasa, invoked Mother Saraswati, and from her, now she is getting Tattva Jnana. Both of them are seated next to the husband's body. वो बताएंगे वो अगले चैप्टर में. वहीं से खुद दोनों भी रातों रात they sit in meditation, transcend the स्थूल शरीर तादात्म्य with that ativahika deha. Both of them go to one after the other lokas. The description that's given in the next four chapters is mind blowing, mind boggling, mind blasting also. But a great awakening only in Hindu scriptures, Sanatana, we get it. That proves to us through these stories, this is not the only world that's there. There are plenty of lokas are there. And you and I, this is not the only human body like we have. We got through the animal body, the bird body, the chipkali body, the variety of animals we were in the past. Even a microbe insect also have gone through. And we might have gone into the Devaloka, Akshara. ये जो लोग सारे बताएंगे ना, in that the beings will be described. At one point of the time, we as Jiva through our Punya Papa might have gone to those worlds, are going to go in future. This all knowledge reveals to us one reality, one secret, that this is not the end of all. That frees us from all the fear about our identity with this body, with the people here, and the fear of death. ये सारा चले जाएंगे उस ज्ञान से, अगर हम ठीक तरह सुन पाए तो, बोल पाए तो. If I can speak well, if you can catch it well, then it's a continuation. It goes on going on till the Atma Jnana is gained. You can go to different lokas, worlds, and the way of the worlds that are mentioned here, Yaksha lokas, Kinnara lokas, Gandharva lokas, and in each loka, what are the things that are happening? And they are happening next to each other. There is Devata is there, Gandharva is there, दोनों अपना अपना काम कर रहे हैं. इसको वो नहीं दिख रहा है, उसको ये नहीं दिख रहा है. Like, you and your wife, you fight in one room. Your daughter or son and the daughter-in-law, they are fighting in the other room. They don't know you are fighting. You don't know they are. In that way, the description comes. The intermingling of the lokas. One is gross, one is subtler. Not impossible to grasp, like in our own mind only. Whom you love, the moment you remember that person, immediately loving thought comes. In the very next moment, somebody whom you hate you comes in your mind, the hate thoughts comes. Like you are listening to the class, you are tuning, the jnanam comes. Suddenly you remember, yaar, the stove pe maine cooker lagaya, your mind goes there. Or I had to call my son, I have forgotten. एक लोक से दूसरे लोक में जा रहे हो कि नहीं आप, इसी क्षण में हर दिन. Same way after leaving the body, depending on our samskaras, these are the lokas. So you go. Adbhuta lokas are varnita. And you and I should have studied right from childhood all the Puranas, Itihasas and the text. By now, it would have been very clear that depending on my karmas done in this life, I go to different worlds. So let me do all Satkarma, Punya Karma. Better than all of that is, let me do the Tattva Chintana, so that the endful Janma Marana are transcended. Wherever I am born, I will again die. Instead of that, realize the self. That jnana would have come. That's the meaning of Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravarthanojana Mahupeti Gaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Even up to Brahma Loka you go, from there you will be shifted to one or other place. Mahupetya. When you reach to me the Brahman, Punarjanma Vidyate, there is no more of rebirth to because Ajnana, samskaras are gone. Karma phalas are gone. Okay? Up tomorrow we will see in that verse, chapter 22, which is called as Vijnana Abhyasa Varnanam. The Tattva Jnana Sadhana will be told in these 32 shlokas. Wonderful it is. Let me see. I'll take 2, 3, or 4 days. We'll study 5, 5, 6, 6 shlokas per day, or maybe 8, 8, 10, 10. After that, Jnana is given to Saraswati ji, Leela ko. She will have to realize that. Instantaneously, she can do that, but she had that sankalpa to see that Brahmana Nagarana. So, therefore, both of them fly. Every lokas they travel. Then they come to Bolo. Everywhere they travel. Then to that Girigrama they go. मजा आता है सारा next few chapters. I don't know whether I'll explain every shloka or skip it. प्रभु जैसा चाहे वैसा होगा. फिलहाल तो 22nd chapter has got Vijnana Abhyasa. Let us come to that most important topic. Thank you. ओम पूर्णमदः ओम शांति शांति शांति. बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. धन्यवाद. अब आ जाओ तत्वमसि भी पढ़ते हैं.